This probably just looks like a big unkept patch. An unkept, untidy garden full of weeds, huh? Well, it's a little bit more than that. There's a little bit more under the surface I wanted to show you guys. Today I wanted to just make a quick video regarding gardening and prepping, how they coincide, and the importance of getting yourself together to have your home garden. I think that it's something that really is underrated. It's talked about, obviously, but it's not given the attention that I think that it deserves. I think that gardening is, without a doubt, the #1 priority for most preppers, and how few preppers actually involve themselves in gardening is kind of scary. It's rare to find people that really know what they're doing in the garden. Most people's their knowledge extends to, I bought a seed bank, or I bought a bunch of seeds at Walmart and I'm set. And that's really a bad place to put yourself into. You need to get out, get your hands dirty, get experience. You can't read it, you can't research it, watch videos. That's not enough. You need to get your hands dirty. You will make mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to fail. You're going to run into unforeseen problems, and you need to learn how to overcome those problems now before it's a serious issue. And I've been gardening actively now for about 6 years. I'm still having problems. I still make mistakes. I still am learning, and it's a continual process. But I want to do it now, not when God forbid my life depends on it, or my children or my loved ones. It's a scary thing to see people that really don't know what they're doing, yet they feel confident that they do, and it's just not good. But my #1 choice for your prepper garden, if you haven't done any gardening and you're looking to start, and my #1 pick is potatoes. That's what this here is. This is my potato patch. I haven't tended it very well, which is one of the beautiful things about potatoes. Once they're planted, some people do a lot of extra stuff. They weed them, they hill them, they do all kinds of things. I don't. I plant my potatoes and I let them run. It's now the beginning of September. The potato plants have long died back. The weeds are starting to take over. And I've started to dig. I've started to do some digging the last couple of days. This small patch here, our property is not very big. I grow quite a bit of stuff, quite a variety of plants and vegetables and fruit, but this patch is dedicated to potatoes almost every year. I try to rotate, but this patch here, this is probably 75 foot by 15 or 20 foot. This patch here will yield roughly 350 to 400 pounds of potatoes, and that's really exciting. And we'll just take a peek down here, see if I can find a row. Dig around a little bit. It is a little trickier if you wait this late to find your potatoes, because the plants aren't as obvious, but there we go. The variety I choose to grow here is Eva. They're not the biggest potatoes. They're not the best potatoes as far as flavor. They're not bad. But the thing about Eva is these potatoes last. They store really, really well. And I'll be eating these until probably early May of next year. And that touches on another reason why I feel potatoes are really the centerpiece of the prepper garden. Most every other vegetable that you grow, tomatoes, green beans, beets, virtually everything else requires you to take time, energy, fuel. If you're going to can those vegetables, if you're going to dehydrate them, it takes time. You have to process them. It takes the fuel to can them, the material, jar lids, jars. Potatoes, they're nature's own way of preservation. Potatoes in your basement. I don't have a root cellar, a fancy perfect root cellar. I just have a basement. They will stay in wooden crates or wooden boxes that I have, and they'll last for 4, 5, even 6 months, just like that. They're ready to go. No preparation, no canning, no drying. They're ready to eat. Another great thing, even before harvest time, I'm harvesting now in late September. I've been eating potatoes out of this patch since early to mid-July. You can start picking your potatoes, digging potatoes out without even taking the plant out. Dig around underneath beside the plant, take a couple potatoes, take a few more here and there, and the plant will continue to grow. So it's something that you can harvest as you need it. And unlike, again, tomatoes, most every other vegetable, there isn't a tight time frame. You can't let your tomatoes sit on the vine for an extra week if you're busy, you don't feel well, you have something going on. You need to pick them when they're ready or they're going to rot. Potatoes, they can sit there. I've started, my father and I actually discovered this sort of by accident. I'm sure it's not completely unknown, but we now will typically take a 15 by 15 foot square of our patches and throw an extra 5 or 6 inches of dirt, throw some weeds and garden trash on top of it, and let it sit all winter. And then come early spring, when our potatoes in the garage have already started to get wrinkly, you know, they're not looking that hot, we'll, as soon as the ground's able to be worked and unfrozen, we'll pull that stuff back, dig those potatoes out, and they're hard and they're fresh and they're perfect. Again, as long as you have a layer on top so that the ground doesn't freeze quite to them. If they get frozen hard, they will rot, but if you get a good 6, 7, 8 inches of material on top of them, they'll be fine. And that's just another reason why I feel potatoes are great. Not that other things aren't. You know, experiment, grow. We grow lima beans and carrots and onions and potatoes and tomatoes and all sorts of other things. We grow a whole strip of sweet potatoes up here also, which are just as good as white potatoes if that's your thing. But the biggest thing to take away from this is just get out there, get your hands dirty, get experience. Don't be one of these people that has a seed bank and thinks that they're set, because it's really not that simple. It really isn't. And equipment and materials. The same with just having a seed bank. Most of these people might have a shovel. Get your gardening materials: a wheelbarrow, shovels, rakes, hose, fertilizer, bug spray if you need it. You know, all these different things that people don't think about. And yeah, do your best. I know it's late this year, but next year, even if it's a few things to start, don't start huge. Just get out there and get your hands dirty, guys. Good luck.